ahead. All right, so let's find our way over to our mat, and we're going to find a nice seated position. I've already got my puppy Penny here warming it up for me. And then we'll just move a little side to side to move the flesh out from underneath our bottom. And then let's switch that cross so we have that non-dominant leg in front. So maybe just take a moment to just move those shoulders around to release any holding that might be there in the back. And then just start to find the stillness. Maybe just pull the shoulders up around the ears and then exhale, let them drift down and back. Maybe you do that one or two more times, drawing the shoulders up around the ears and then exhale down and back. And just start to let yourself land. Start to feel your seat on the earth as your legs start to soften. And as you come back to your hips, as you feel your hips just melt down. Now starting to travel up the back body as you feel the elongation through the spine. Just feel a little softening as you continue to sit tall. Feel the shoulders soften down, feel the arms rest down. And now just feeling the neck and throat softening as the face and the head just start to surrender and honor what is today. And just let your awareness settle in on your breath as you feel that breath moving in and moving out with that gentle rise and fall, that giving and receiving. So as we continue with our theme of dukkha, the opportunity and suffering, there was a reading from my devotional this morning that really struck me. And I just felt like the Spirit was leading me to use it for class today. So this is from Ecclesiastes 3, 1-8. There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down, a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to search and a time to give up, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace, and just let that settle in. And perhaps there's something in there that spoke to you. And just a brief reading from Parker Palmer to kind of close out this meditation time. Autumn is a season of great beauty, but it is also a season of decline. The days grow shorter, the light is suffused, and summer's abundance decay towards winter's death. In my own experience of autumn, I am rarely aware that seeds are being planted. But as I explore autumn's paradox of dying and seeding, I feel the power of metaphor. In the autumnal events of my own experience, I am easily fixated on the surface appearances, on the decline of meaning, the decay of relationships, the death of a work. And yet, if I look more deeply, I may see the myriad of possibilities being planted to bear fruit in some season yet to come. In retrospect, I can see in my own life what I could not see at the time, how the job I lost helped me find the work I needed to do, how the road closed sign turned me toward terrain I needed to travel, how losses that felt irredeemable forced me to discern meanings I needed to know. On the surface, it seemed that life was lessening, but silently and lavishly, the seeds of new life were always being sown. So as we just take a few more breaths, breathing in the seeds of new life and possibility, we just honor everything that's showing up with us today. And with the legs crossed exactly as they are right now, just slowly bring your hands to your thighs. And we're going to just start with that circular movement of the torso. So just start to move that body around in a big circle, as if you're stirring. And imagine that your spine is like the bowl, your hips, or your spine is like the spoon, your hips are like the bowl, and you're just scraping the edges of the bowl with that spoon. Just breathe through those tight, sticky spaces as you go around. Maybe one more time around this way. And then gently pause at the top just to give yourself a little bit of space. And then start to move that flow the other way. Start that circle going around the other way. Just notice those tight, sticky spaces so you can direct your breath to them. And just one more time around. And then slowly come back to the top, and let's just lean back to switch our cross. So now we've got that other foot in front. And now let's take our inhale and let's exhale, paint that canvas down in front of you as you let the hands melt down. And now walk your hands forward as you let the head soften down. And just as you surrender everything here down at the earth and down at the Father's feet, just let go of anything you're holding on to as you gently just shake your head a little, maybe yes, maybe no, whatever you need. And then when you're ready, start to still the head and begin to gently guide your body back up to the top. And then we'll inhale up with those arms, exhale down with that right hand, reach over. Inhale, rise, exhale down with the other hand as you reach over. And now inhale, rise. Let's let the hands melt down now behind us. And just inhale, lift the heart, open your heart to receive the wisdom from the sky above you. As we let heaven just rain down. And now just begin to soften the gaze. And then we're going to just switch the cross. So just bring that right foot in and then just cross that left leg over the top. So if you can't find the floor with your foot, and then we're going to inhale up with those arms. And we're going to gently revolve over to the left. So let the hands float down, and you can wrap that front arm around that knee if that feels right. And just breathe here. Continue that breath. And just another breath here. And then slowly unwind, return back to the front. Let's uncross our legs. So now let's bring the left leg underneath. Bring the right leg on top, crossing the leg over and bringing the foot to the earth. And then inhale, rise. Slowly revolve to the right. Let the hands soften down. Maybe wrap that front arm around that knee. Maybe you start to notice those tight, sticky spaces through the outer hips here. And now slowly return back to the front. Let's uncross the legs. And we're going to bring that right leg again on the bottom, bring the left leg on top. So either the foot finds the earth or the knees stack. So whatever feels right. If you want, you can also bring the ankle on top of the knee. So let's just pause here. And then we'll inhale up. And just start to windmill those arms down to the side and behind you and then up again. So just moving through those shoulders a little bit. And then we're going to start to alternate. So one hand is going to start to reach up, the other hand will reach down. So keep one hand down, reach the other hand up, and then just bend at the elbows, reaching the fingertips towards one another. And then inhale, switch arms, other arm reaches up, other hand reaches down and back. So we're just starting nice and gently, not touching our fingertips, just reaching towards our fingertips as we find space throughout those shoulders. So now whatever arm is ending up on top, let's just pause there, gently pat yourself on the back. Maybe you can reach towards your fingertips, or maybe you just do an energetic reach, or perhaps you just want to bring your hand to that top elbow. That's a great place to be as well. So just breathe here. Sitting tall, planting seeds of new life. And now just remember which arm is on top, because we'll switch in a moment after we switch legs, but we're going to fold forward here. So let's slowly inhale, lengthen out those arms. Inhale, both arms up, and then exhale, hands melt down. So make any adjustments with the legs if you want to stack the knees or stack the ankle above the knee, and then just start to melt forward, fold forward. Send a little more breath into those tight, sticky spaces through those hips. And just take a moment to just cross your hands at your wrists. It doesn't matter which hand is on top. Just notice which hand is on top so you can switch it for the other side. So take that final breath, breathing in through the back of the heart. And then slowly walk your hands back. And then we'll switch our cross. So bring your hands behind you, bring the left leg on the bottom, right leg on top. So either stack the knees, keep the foot on the earth, or stack the ankle above the knee, whichever one is best for you. And let's start with those arms again. Reach them high. And then let one arm reach back behind you and the other one reach down and back behind you. So now we'll just windmill those arms again, just side to side, reaching one hand high, and then touching the back, reaching the other hand low, touching the back, reaching for your fingertips, just like we would through cow face. So get those last ones in, and then whichever arm was on top, let that one be on the bottom. Bring the other arm on top, and now start to reach for those fingertips energetically or really with the fingertips or a strap. Or even the hand can come up on that top elbow, whatever's for you. And then just notice those low ribs. Are you pushing your chest forward? Try to find that nice neutral spine with the low ribs pulled in. One more breath here. And now gently begin to release the fingers, release the arms, and then reach them back high. And then exhale, melt the hands down. Make any adjustment with those legs to begin that forward fold over those legs. Just fold to where it feels right so you can really send that breath through those outer hips. And maybe again, you start to cross the hands at the wrists. If you can remember, cross the opposite hand than you did before. Now gently begin to walk your hands back, uncrossing the hands. Just walk your hands up. Stack the head last, and then let's lengthen out our legs. So let's just send both legs forward. You can keep as much bend through the knees as you would like. Just start to bounce the knees a little bit. And then we'll bring that flexion through the feet. And let's take our inhale. Exhale, hands come alongside of the hips. Press through the palms as you press down into your staff pose. Sitting tall. Breathing. And now as you find some softness, we'll start to plant even more seeds of life. Just soften the knees and then let the hands walk forward as you soften that back body. Start to breathe all along that back body, the hamstrings, the low back, the hips. Now gently, slowly inhale, rise up, stack the head last, and then bring your hands behind you. So you can start to walk the feet to the earth and bend the knees and come into your reverse table pose. Or if you'd like, keep those legs nice and long and just lift the hips into your reverse plank pose. So maybe the gaze stays forward, or maybe it looks up to the sky. And when you're ready, slowly exhale, melt the hips down, and then draw the legs in, crossing the feet at the ankles, and let's press ourselves forward. So if you wish to have your blanket here, go ahead, keep it, or move it off to the side, and let's bring the hands to the earth, knees underneath those hips. Just move through that spine a few more times through that cat and cow breath to invite in that last little bit of space that that back body may need. Along the front of the spine, along the back of the spine. Start to plant the seeds of your breath and that living water all along the spine to birth new life. And one more time. And now let's start to still our body. We're gonna flex the feet. So start to press your toes into the earth, spread your fingers wide. And now when you're ready, let's hover those knees above the earth. Maybe bring them down as close as you can without touching, and then unlock those elbows. Keep looking down, breathing. Feel the strength and power here. And as you're breathing in, breathe in, I am strong. And as you exhale, soften the knees, soften the feet, sink back your hips, and let yourself soften now. As you breathe in, I am soft and strong. Leave any final thoughts that you're still holding on to. Just gently leave them at the earth by rocking your head side to side. And now find your way back to the center with your head. Inhale, rise, table position. Let's find our nice flat back. Feel the navel reach to the spine. Let's slowly lift the right hand, left knee, opposite limbs, and then send the fingertips forward, send the heel back in space. So really flex through the foot. So now we're going to start with a gentle tap down. So gently tap the fingertips down and then the toes down and then back up. So just a gentle tap down and back up. So like we're doing like a karate chop down with our hand. Last two. Last one. And now soften that right hand down. Keep that left leg extended and lift up that left arm. Now just pause here and start to circle that left arm around. One more time with that arm circling around, and then reach the hand back high, stacking the shoulders. And now really feel that right or left foot anchor in and reach those fingertips, the left fingertips overhead, like you're creating that long line from the outer edge of the foot to the fingertips. And now inhale, come back here. So I'm going to give you a couple of options. So you can stay here with that knee planted and maybe lift up that left leg. Maybe that's where you go, or maybe you come to your full side plank by drawing that right foot behind the left. So you can stay right there. Or maybe you add on by lifting up that top leg. You may need to step it back. That's okay too. So if that top leg's lifted, slowly soften it down. If that knee is extended, go ahead, bring that right knee back. Now soften the left hand down, turn your body back forward and soften the left knee down, and then sink your hips back. Let's give our body a little break and our wrists a little break. Pause here in child's pose. Start to breathe through that right wrist. Perhaps come into the TP hand on the right hand just to breathe and create a little more space through the wrist. And now soften the right palm back to meet the earth. Take your inhale back to your table position. Nice flat back again, navel to the spine. When you're ready, lift the left hand, right knee. Find that extension as you inhale, lengthen out the fingertips, send the heel back in space. Now keeping the long arm and leg, we're just going to gently tap the toes down and the pinky down and then back up. Stopping right at that balancing table, so not going up too high. Stopping at parallel to the back. We've got just a couple more. Last two. Last one. Slowly soften down the left hand, soften down the right toes, and slowly peel the right hand up as you draw that right foot in alignment with the left knee. So now let's start to circle that top arm around. Make any adjustments with that bottom arm just to make sure the hand is right underneath the shoulder. One more time around. Then reach that hand high and glue in that right foot and then reach that arm overhead. So now you're reaching from the outer edge of the right foot through to the fingertips. And then inhale, reach high. So maybe you stay right here. If you wish, you can just lift that top leg, working that side balance here, those obliques. So maybe you stay there, or you keep that top leg on the earth and you draw the right knee, right foot behind the left. So once again, you could stay here in your side plank. Maybe you lift that top leg. Breathe here. I know you may notice one side may be easier than the other. That's okay. It's good information. So slowly soften down the top leg. Take your time. If your knee is, the bottom leg is extended, bend that knee. And now take your exhale, soften the hands, slowly pivot the body back. And then soften the knee down, sink your hips back, child's pose. So now come through the teepee hands on the left side. So if you wish to do it for both, you can, or just do that left side because we got the right before. And now slowly soften down the left hands. We're going to inhale, come on up into a table, and we're going to prepare to move into down dog or puppy dog. So move those hands one hand width forward. Flex the feet, lift the knees, and just start to walk out your dog. March those heels out. Feel the hips reach high, shoulders plug in and back. Last few walks here with the legs. And then start to find the stillness. Let's slowly come up onto our tippy toes. So inhale, lift the heels high, tippy toe. Exhale, soften the heels towards the earth. Inhale up to the tiptoes. Exhale, soften down. One more time, up to the tippy toes. Exhale, soften down. And then inhale, slowly shift the weight forward into plank. And then we're going to come down to our forearms. So slowly come down one elbow at a time, bringing those elbows right underneath the shoulder. Find your plank. Nice, solid line of energy from the head to the heels. So optional, you can stay right here. If you'd like to join me, we're going to drop one hip towards the earth and then back up. So barely touching. It might be more of the thigh touching, that's okay. Just barely touching those hips one at a time. Getting that core work in. One more hip tap. And then come to neutral and soften the knees, soften the hips, soften the feet back, and then spread the fingers wide, looking gently forward. Find that mini cobra sphinx pose. And then soften the glutes. And now as we exhale, soften the body down. Let the head find the earth and just tuck the chin at the chest to the chest. Lower the forehead down. Just plant seeds of that strength that we just walked through into the earth beneath you. Plant the seeds of softness as you land here fully. And now let's just bring our hands alongside of those thighs. As we inhale, we're going to lift the head and heart, and we're going to reach down those thighs with the fingertips. And then exhale, soften. Let's do two more just like that, and then we'll add on. Inhale, reaching down. Exhale, soften down. Inhale, lift the head, lift the heart, reach the fingertips down the thighs. And then exhale, soften. Just let everything soften now. And we're going to do a little chest opener here as we take those seeds of strength and softness and whatever else we've planted and let them move through our heart center. So now just gently draw the hands behind the back, interlocking those fingers. Keep the gaze down at the earth. Inhale, lift the head, lift the heart, charge those knuckles down the tailbone. Exhale, soften. Just soften the hands a little bit and then switch the interlock. When you're ready, inhale, lift the head, lift the heart, draw the fingertips down the spine as they interlock. Breathe as you draw the shoulder blades together, opening the heart to receive those seeds of new life. And now exhale, soften. Let everything soften, let the hands go. Just let the arms rest alongside of the body. Let the head rest on one side or down at the forehead. And then we're going to slowly come back up the way we began. So take your time, draw the elbows underneath the shoulders. When you're ready, flex the feet, lift the hips, find your plank pose. When you're ready, we're going to push back up onto our hands and then sink back to down dog. Let the hips sink back, let the heels soften down. And then we're going to really soften those knees and start to look between the hands. Maybe you take a nice gentle stroll up to the hands, or maybe you take a nice gentle hop, landing softly as you find your forward fold. Then just act like a ragdoll as you soften and surrender here. Really let the knees soften so you can just find more open space through the back of those legs. So now let's bring the hands back to meet the earth. Let's take our inhale, active back extension, L-shaped body, just like we were practicing in staff pose. Breathe, feel the shoulder blades plug in. Nice flat back. Maybe the fingers reach back for the hips, softening at the knees, or reach your arms to the letter T. Inhale, rise into your upward hand salute. Draw those pinkies towards one another and you gently lean back, looking up if you can. And then exhale, melt the hands down to meet the heart, pause, and just start to rock forward and back. Perhaps start to now rock side to side. And now start to settle into your mountain stance. So really feel the toes lift high as you spread the ball mounts of the feet. Now soften the toes one at a time down to meet the earth as you spread those seeds of life into the earth beneath you. And then as you draw in the living water through the inner arches of the feet, feel that energy rise up through the thighs. Feeling the thighs spiral in and back. And now slowly turn the fingertips away from you. Lengthen out the arms, head folds down. Let the back body round. Breathe in through the back of the heart. And then spread your wings of those new seeds that are planted. Open the heart, look high. Inhale, let the arms reach overhead, gaze to the horizon, and then hands melt down to the heart center. Let's take this breath here. And then we're going to inhale, swan dive, forward fold, bend at the knees, hinge at the hips, soften the hands down. If you'd like your blocks, this is a great place to grab them. And let's bring them to that tall setting and bring the hands right on top of the blocks at that tall setting if you're using your blocks. And now we're going to send just the right toes back. We're going to prepare for our warrior 3 here. So maybe you keep the toes there or draw that right heel up, pulling through those inner thighs as if they're reaching for one another. So while we're here in warrior 3, let's keep the right hand on the earth and just reach that left arm off to the side. Soften that left knee as much as you need. Now let the left hand float back. Now reach the right arm off to the side. Notice how that challenges the balance. And then come back center. Maybe you stay there or you start to reach both hands up. Breathe here. And now soften the hands back to meet the blocks. Let's take that right foot and we're going to cross it over in front of the left. And then walk those blocks over underneath your shoulders. And now just draw that hip, the left hip forward, and then rock the right hip back. Draw it forward to the left corner edge and then back. Just rock those hips. Breathe through that outer IT band throughout the left thigh. One more time with the hips rocking. And then uncross the right leg, draw the blocks back. And we're going to get the other side. So nice flat back to the best of your ability. All right, let's slowly draw the left toes back. So just draw it back and maybe keep it there on the earth. That's great. Maybe you wish to add on, soften through the right knee and draw the left heel up as you send the energy out the heel, flexing the foot. Start to feel the inner thighs pulling towards one another. And just like before, now let's reach that right arm to the side. Notice, breathe, find your stability. And now exhale the right hand down. Now lift the left arm off to the side, just reaching along the horizon. Notice how it challenges the balance. Let the left hand soften down. And maybe you stay right here. This is great. Or maybe you wish to come to your fingertips and then reach both arms off to the letter T. Breathe. Exhaling the hands down to the blocks. Let's slowly exhale that left foot down and then cross the left foot in front of the right and then walk your blocks here underneath the shoulders. And now just start to tick-tock the hips forward and back. So draw the right hip forward and then let the left hip draw back. So just a gentle sway of those hips. Now breathing through that outer right IT band. Last time swaying. Get that final sway in. And then find your center and uncross the left foot and return the blocks back under the shoulders. Now we'll move them down to that lower setting and forward fold, maybe ragdoll again. Maybe switch the cross of the hands. And just see if you can soften a little bit more. Breathe in that softness and surrender. And now let your hands soften all the way down to meet the earth. And then let's find our active back extension. Inhale, fingertips position, L-shaped body. You know the options. We're going to start to come on up, soften the knees, draw the hands where they feel right, and then reach high, upward hand salute. Gentle mini back bend. And then exhale, hands down to the heart. Once again, turn the fingertips away from you. Slowly exhale, fold or reach the arms forward as you fold the head down. Breathe through the back of the heart as you plant those seeds of balance through the back of the heart. And then as the arms expand open, start to look high, planting those seeds of balance in the front of the heart. Slowly softening the gaze as you reach the hands high, melting the hands down to the heart. Into our swan dive forward fold. And now we're going to take that right leg and we're going to take a big step back. Step it back there, wiggle those toes back there. And then let's just do our little tick-tock forward and back. Just pulse forward and back, keeping the knee behind the toes, maybe just over the toes. And now just start to pause here. We're going to start to soften that rear knee down, relax the foot. Maybe it stays flexed. And then maybe come up to that higher setting with the blocks. Just start to lift the heart. Start to lift the gaze to the horizon. Start to breathe now through that front right hip flexor. And maybe now that right arm reaches forward. Let it soften back down. Now let the left arm reach forward. And soften back down. Returning to the right. Let it circle down, back and around into the low back. Just gently look over that shoulder. And then let the hand soften down. Now lift the left hand forward, reaching along the horizon. And then circle the left arm back and around and plug the fist into the low back as you look towards the back edge of the mat. And then exhale that left hand back to the blocks and exhale, sink the hips back. And now let's take our inhale, come back forward. We're going to get a little bit deeper into that psoas now. So bring your hands to the blocks. Maybe you come to that higher setting or stay at that higher setting. So maybe you stay right here or reach the hands high. Now, can you soften through the shoulders? So you can stay right here or you can join me for the psoas stretch. So the left hand can come to the thigh or to that block outside of the thigh. And then slowly exhale, hinge over towards the left as the right fingertips reach left. And I know we walked through this before, but just as a reminder, that psoas muscle is one of the first muscles that gets tight when we're stressed. So when the psoas muscle gets tightened, it also gets tightening through the low back. So maybe to let that low back soften a little more, giving that psoas the space it needs to release. And now as you slowly come back, slowly inhale, reach the right hand back down to the block. Let's slowly exhale, sink back. Maybe you stay here or you sink all the way back, letting your hip come back onto the heel. Feel free to bring a block under the left hip. And now take your time, inhale, slowly shift forward. We're gonna kickstand that rear knee. So kickstand the rear knee, that right foot to the left edge of the mat. So now we're coming into our kneeling warrior. So slowly cartwheel up with those hands as you sink into your kneeling warrior 2. Breathe. And now inhale, slowly lengthen out that left leg. Let the right fingertips reach down the thigh. Reach up and over with the left arm. And then we're going to move into our gate pose. So slowly inhale, bring our hands and shoulders right over those hips. And now soften the left hand down, reach the right arm over as you reach over that long leg. And now slowly inhale, come back up, realigning everything, and then start to soften, bend the front knee and sink into that warrior 2 one more time. And now cartwheel the hands down to the inside edge of the left foot, and then just sink your hip back one more time, lengthen out the front leg. So now we're going to slowly begin to turn that right knee so that the toes are pointing towards the long edge of the mat, and then frame that left foot and slowly shift back forward to your low lunge. We're going to lift that rear knee, pause here. Once again, let's come to the right or to both fingertips on the blocks. And maybe you reach the right arm forward. Then let it soften down. Now reach the left fingertips forward. Let it soften down. Now reach the right fingertips forward. And we're going to circle it down, back and around. Create that fist into the low back. Maybe look over that shoulder. Exhale that right hand down. Now reach the left fingertips forward. Circle the left arm all the way around and plug the fist into the low back as you look back. And now soften the left hand down, and now take your exhale, sink your hips back, pyramid pose. As you draw the left hip back, feel the right hip drawing forward. Feel the head softening towards the shin. And now slowly soften and bend the front knee. Slowly rebend that right knee as we step forward back to our forward fold. Just hang, soften, surrender. Now in between those two sides, let's take an inhale, active back extension, L-shaped body. Take your hands where they wish to go as the knees start to soften, and then inhale, upward back salute, upward hand salute, mini back bend. And then exhale, hands melt down to the heart. Inhale, swan dive, forward fold. Soften the hands out to the blocks or to the earth. And then we're gonna step the left leg back. So wiggle those toes back there. Keep that leg nice and long, walk the hands under the shoulders. And then we're gonna just tick-tock forward and back again. Just the gentle tick-tock forward and back. Last time. And realign that knee over the ankle and then slowly soften down that left knee. Relax the foot if that feels right. So now start to turn the blocks up to that higher setting as you lift the heart. Now we'll go back to that flow. So now we'll start with the left fingertips. Just start to reach the left fingertips forward. Soften the hand down. Now reach the right fingertips forward. Soften the hand down. Now go back to the left, reach it forward. And then we're going to circle it back down and around. Create the fist, plug it in, look over the left shoulder. Now soften the hand down. And now reach the right fingertips forward. Circle it back down and around, plug the fist in, look over that right shoulder. Slowly bring your hands back down. Let the right hand soften down and then let your hips sink back, head folds forward. And now take your inhale, slowly shift back forward. And now you get to choose. Maybe you stay here with your hands on the blocks or the earth. Maybe you come on up with those hands, reach them high as the shoulders soften. Check the rear knee if you need a blanket underneath it. Feel the strength and power here. And then we'll get into that psoas again, just like we did on the other side. So now the right hand can soften down to the thigh or to that block outside of the thigh. Slowly reach the left fingertips over to the right edge. As you feel that open space through the left hip flexors, that as you start to breathe into the front of that hip flexor, deeper into that psoas. Just pause and breathe as you breathe in the seeds of new life through to the psoas, so that low back can find some softness. Now slowly come back. Let the left hand soften down. Let the hips sink back. Maybe you stay there or you sink all the way back with your hip back to the heel. And when you're ready, we're going to take our inhale and come back forward. So take your time, shift your weight back forward. And then we're just going to kickstand that left foot. So now it's pointing towards the long edge of the mat, preparing for our kneeling warrior two. So when you're ready, reverse cartwheel up with those arms and then sink forward to warrior two as the head, heart, and hips align here. Breathe. Check on that front knee. We want to press it, the inner edge of the knee towards the pinky toe side. Now slowly soften the left hand down the thighs. You extend the right leg, reach the right fingertips overhead, reaching back. And then inhale, restack the shoulders and head. And now let the right hand reach down that extended leg, reach the left arm over. And now let's inhale, rise, reach the arms to the horizon and soften, bend the front knee again. Warrior two, pause here. Just opening those hips, softening the shoulders. Breathe in your strength and your power here. Breathe in the power and the authority that you have been given. As we start to surrender down, letting all of our ways let go. Let the hands come inside edge of the right foot, and then exhale, sink the hips back, lengthen out the front leg. And when you're ready, slowly turn the left toes back in space and then reframe that front leg. And gently shift your weight forward. So when you're ready, we're going to flex the rear foot, lift the knee, and we're going to go through that final flow here on this side. So whatever anchoring in you need here, let's start with the right hand. Reach the right hand forward. Exhale, soften. Now left hand reaches forward. Exhale, soften. Going back to the right, reach it forward. Then circle it up, back and around. Plug the fist into the low back. Look over the right shoulder again. Next, exhale, hand softens down. Then the left hand reaches forward. Circle it back down and around. Plug that fist in, and maybe more challenging, just breathe. Look over the left shoulder. And now exhale the hand down. When you're ready, we're going to find our pyramid pose. Exhale, sink the hips back. Now draw the left hip forward, right hip draws back. And now slowly shift back forward. Walk your hands forward. And then we're going to take a big step forward. So soften the rear knee, stepping forward. Find your final forward fold. Just shake the hips out here a little bit. Let them rock side to side. So now start to still the movement. Let's turn the toes out. So we're going to do our yogi squat, our malasana. So when you're ready, as the toes are turned out, slowly soften the knees, sinking down. Maybe you use your block here underneath your bottom or not. And then bring the palms together in that prayer position as you press the elbows, the triceps into the thighs. Breathe here. Now soften the right hand to meet the earth, reach the left hand high. Inhale, center palms back to the heart. Exhale, left hand comes to the earth, right hand reaches high. Exhale, hands come back to the heart. And now slowly walk your hands down and just fold forward. And then slowly walk your hands back, walk your hands all the way back behind you as you sink back. Let your hips soften down. Let your knees turn forward. And now just bring your hands behind you and just widen the feet, at least mat width apart, and just windshield wiper those legs side to side. Let's do that one last time each way. And then we're just gonna find our way back to the center. And now walk your feet back in. And let's just slowly wrap our arms around those legs. Just hug your knees. Let the head rest down on the knees, or just fold forward. And then we're going to slowly begin to come back. So slowly lift the head, Slowly begin to roll down. So you can roll down vertebrae by vertebrae, holding on or not. And then just reach those arms overhead, nice long body. Extend the feet, extend the toes, open the hands. And then just draw that right knee in. Let's slowly take the right knee with the left hand as we open up that right arm. Now draw that right knee over to the left side. Maybe you keep looking up or look to the right. Just let those shoulder blades anchor you here. And now slowly come back. Let's take that right knee now in the right hand and just draw that knee to the armpit. Take the left hand to the left hip and then flex through the left foot. So you can be and stay here, or you could join me in that half happy baby. So your hand can stay there or come to the thigh, come to the outer calf, or come to the outer foot or big toe into that half happy baby. Do that half squat here. One more breath. And now release what you're holding on to. Return the hand to the knee or shin. Draw the knee to the armpit. And then draw the knee in. Set the foot down and lengthen out the body again. And then we'll slowly draw the left knee in. Flex through the right foot. And then take the right hand to the knee, to the left knee as you reach the left arm out. Now draw that knee over across the body as you start to maybe look high or look to the left. Breathe into all of those tight, sticky spaces. As you inhale, slowly draw the gaze up, draw the knee up. And now take the left hand onto the knee, right hand onto the right hip. And now draw that left knee up to the left armpit. And just breathe. Let the seeds of softness just spread. And now maybe you wish to stay here, or you can join me in that half happy baby, reaching for the back of the thigh, the outer calf, or the outer foot. You find that kind of half squatting position with the sole of the foot parallel to the sky. Keep sending the right hip down. Last breath here. Maybe the hand starts to soften. As you let the foot soften, bring the hand back to the knee. Just keep drawing that left knee to the left armpit. And then bring the knee inside of the body and lengthen out one more time. And really find that extension. And then we're going to pull ourselves in, get that last back body massage, maybe rock the knees, circle the knees, find your full happy baby if you wish. Whatever you need for that last release here. And maybe it's a combination. And then when you're ready, just start to draw everything into a nice tight ball. Draw the head towards the knees. Squeeze everything into this tight ball. And then as you exhale, release. Find whatever comfortable position is right for you now. Find whatever support is needed now. So you can start to soften. So let everything start to melt down. Feel the back body land down. It feels almost as if for right now, it's like you're glued to the mat and there's no place to go. So as the mat supports you fully and the earth beneath you, start to invite the front body to soften down into the back body. And just finding even more softness with each letting go breath. Feel even the bones letting go now. Feeling all the muscles and joints soften to be held. And now even letting those inner organs soften and let go. Just let the breath fill you. And with the power of the breath, of that living water, just imagine it's rocking you into your own beautiful abyss of this peaceful place where you can just soften and be anywhere you wish now. As perhaps you invite more softness through the front body and all parts of you now. And just let yourself rest. All will be quiet and still for the next few moments. As you let all of the seeds that you've planted be marinated to sprout new life. Marinated in this love and this living water. And when it feels right for you, just invite in a beautiful deep breath to seal in our meditation and our practice. To take those seeds with you. Just start to gently move, perhaps the fingers and the toes, ankles and then wrists. Just find whatever movement would feel good right now. And when it feels right, just roll to one side, whatever side is speaking to you as you let yourself be held on the side body. And then just gently begin to press yourself up as you let the head stack last. Once you find a nice seated position, just move the fluff out from underneath your bottom as you start to plant the fingertips in to the earth outside of your hips. Begin to lift the palms, turn them up as you inhale, surrounding yourself in that light to nurture those seeds. Exhale, hands down through to the heart. And now plug the thumbs into the heart. Heart reaches for those thumbs, and then soften the gaze to meet the heart. From a place of alignment with the head, heart, and mind in the same place. From my heart to your heart, I'm wishing you guys just a blessed rest of your weekend with these new seeds of life that you've planted. And together we say, Namaste. Thank you.